Welcome to In the Reel. I'm your host, Eric. This is another Light Saber review. My purchases from Ultra Saber. As mentioned, this is my second purchase from there. I'm watching the outtakes along with you here while I'm recording this intro and laughing at some of the stuff. I will say, stroking my own ego a little bit here, I did a lot better with my Saber skills than my first one. I've been playing with them pretty good, so it's gotten better. But I still make mistakes, and it's funny to watch. So at the end of this review, you're going to see, I guess, the best of the cuts that I have. I just dropped it. It happens more often than you think. But these things are rugged and durable. This order, I was after a specific build, so I custom built one, and that offered a few extra freebies, and I'm going to talk about them in the review here. You'll see in a moment. And you, as well as you know, I do audio, typically not videos, so I'll probably look a little stiff from time to time. But hey, the lightsabers are fun. I encourage you to go to ultrasabers.com and check them out. Welcome to my review of my lightsabers purchased through Ultra Sabers. A little bit of background. This is my second purchase from Ultra Sabers. I have not purchased from any other saber company. My first purchase was approximately a month and a half ago, and I was impressed enough with their product and their customer service that I went ahead and placed another order. So a little bit of background. My first order was all mystery boxes, and the promotion at the time also offered a free incentive for certain price levels. So I ended up with a set of 4 from that particular order. This particular order, with the promotion that was going on, I don't recall if it was the same promotion or not, but I decided to go ahead and custom build a saber, and that's fascinating. And then to get some of the incentives, I also purchased another mystery box item, and a couple of free sabers were offered due to that price level. So I got another 4 sabers to share with you, and we'll go through them in some detail. And just fair warning, I start to get a little wordy in my reviews. I'm a little excited about lightsabers, so yeah, we'll move forward. Now, before this review started, you watched some of my outtakes of playing with the sabers in the dark. At the end of this, there's going to be some better saber play, so stay tuned for that. Also, my last video, if you haven't checked it out yet, please do so. It talks about the sabers that I got then, and it wasn't quite as bright, so be forewarned about that. So today I'm doing it with the sunshine, so when I light these up here, they're probably not going to be as vivid as my other ones were. And of course, my saber techniques were done in the dark on purpose, so you can see the sabers in their all their glory. So there's reasons why I did that in the dark and this in the light, so you can see them better and so forth. So this arrived just this last Monday. Today is Wednesday, April, what is it, 14, 15, something like that. I don't remember the date. I got my notice last Friday that they were shipped, and it took the weekend and they arrived Monday. So that was fantastic. My first order was placed with the anticipation of a 3 to 4 week lead time. That one only took 2 weeks. I'm assuming it's because all of it was mystery box. They really didn't have to put anything together. So it was just package it up, send it out. This one took the 4 weeks of lead time because I had a custom build. Makes sense to me. So I unboxed them already, made sure they were all working. One of them wasn't. Just changed the batteries. That was fine. So it was just some dead batteries. No issue beyond that. Maybe got turned on by accident during the packaging. Maybe got turned on during shipping. I really don't know why the batteries are dead. But that's the first time that's happened, and it's really not that big a deal. Most of the time, you don't get batteries with stuff like this, so it's nice when you get them. They usually work, so there's no complaints there. So that being said, a little plug here for them, ultrasabers.com. And you can also join sabersforum.com. You can get the link right from their website. A lot of people with information there, reviews, information, things like that, hints, ideas. So I'll talk more about that in a minute. I do have some notes here so I know what the Sabers are called, and so I can tell you about them when I show them to you. So we'll pull them out and then we'll go through them one by one. So let's get started. First one up is a shorter guy. This was the free one. I think there was 2 free ones with this promotion. Yeah, so this was just one of them. Set this guy here. The second one was this one. It's fantastic. I've got some added information about this particular hilt. And these all came bubble wrapped. I wasn't going to rewrap them just to do this fictitious unboxing again. It's just too much work. Third one. This was another mystery box one here. This is wonderful. This thing has got some information to tell you about. So prepare for that. And finally, my custom build, which is, I was so excited to get this. It's this bad boy right here. And this, I've got probably a lot to say about this one. So, yes, this thing's wonderful. All right. So let's get this box out of our way. A little bit of noise happening here. All right, I've mentioned this before, admittedly, a bit of a Star Wars nerd, geek, whatever you want to call it. I'm not offended by that. No negative implications with me saying that to anybody, so just understand that. I don't always know exactly what things are called, so bear with me. Hopefully I'm talking loud enough. And so here we go. I'll tell you right off the bat, every time I've ordered a Saber so far, I always do the $10 upgrade to the ultra heavy duty blades. I don't know that that's necessarily needed, but I've been doing some practice combat with my other ones and they've held up great. So it's kind of, it just seems like a good idea to do, and I'm sure they're fine not getting the Ultra. So keep that in mind. Got a dog barking in the background. It's going to happen. Let's start with the short one. Now, the first time I got my other order, I dubbed the short one the Yoda Saber, and it's only because it's short. It's just something that I call it. This particular Initiate is the V4, the Initiate V4. The machining here on the emitter is very nice for gripping and doing, you know, your twirling and whatnot. It's very comfortable, but it works on this one anywhere. The only challenges for doing stuff like that is because it's short. You kind of get used to the length of the weight of other ones, but this one's a little heavier than my other one, so I do like that. And it's nothing really exciting. It's basic. Got some nice machine lines in it. It looks nice. It really does. Trust me, when you look at pictures, even this video, The pictures just don't do them justice. When you get them in your hands, they look a lot better than the pictures for being what I would consider a basic, very basic design. So, and the only thing I'm going to point out about this is it's in a machine shop getting manufactured, and I don't know if it happened during shipping or anything like that. There's a little sharp dent. I mean, it's sharp. I'm going to have to take that down with a file because it could cut you. But this is not that big a deal. Things happen, and I'm not saying that they're delivering poor quality. That's not what I'm saying at all. Just understand that you're getting a metal object that's heavy in the mail. Things happen. So I haven't had any issues with their quality, so keep that in mind. This one here has what they call the AV switch, and it's not lit or lighted. It doesn't light up, but it is a very nice smooth profile. And I've noticed in the brief toying around that I've done with it is it's very easy to push when you're moving it around, but it still is nice. That being said, what color did we get? I think that's the orange, and I was surprised. I didn't think there was many color options in freebies. You know, I would have guessed it kept to the basic red, blue, green. So this is really cool to see. And before I even got this, I have started looking at building another one along these lines of being the yellow and the orange. So I'm glad I got to see what it looks like. So nice little toy. These are definitely fun to in the house because they're not so long. You're not going to hit your ceiling quite as easily. And don't get me wrong, you can still bump into stuff with this because it's an extension of you. So, but it is a little safer than the full length ones. All right, moving on to the second one, which is also a freebie in this order that I got. Does not have sound. This one obviously didn't have sound when I turned it on. This was what I believe it was a free grab bag was the promotion. And this one is the Dominix LE V3. My last order, I got one of these. It was all silver, and the machine lines were kind of a gold or a yellow, which is nice, very bright. Now on camera, that one you couldn't see the gold very much. So this one, obviously the silver machine lines against the black stands out. Just like the other one, this machining is very nice and comfortable for doing things. It gives you a nice place to grip things. Very, very helpful if you're just learning how to do stuff like that. It's helpful to be secure in holding on to the hilt itself for the saber. Mentioned no sound, and it's just my imagination, I believe. This one felt like it weighed a little bit more than the other one that I have, and I doubt they do. It could be the batteries are different. This is the one that wasn't working when I took it out of the package and turned it on, and it's got 4 AAA batteries in it, and maybe the other one only has 2 AA's. I can't say it's a big difference, but and maybe it's just my imagination. So at any rate, what color did we get here? White, maybe silver they'll call it. I can tell you, and don't take this as a complaint, it's just a personal thing. If there is a color blade I can honestly say I don't like, it's this. It just looks so much like a flashlight with a white light. It's still beautiful and I still like it. I just I wouldn't prefer white. So that's me. But it is nice. It's nice. It is what it is. You know, not complaining for a free saber, that's for sure. All right, so we have the Initiate V4, the Dominix LE V3. Then I purchased a mystery box with sound guarantee. I like the sound. It makes them a lot more fun. And so when I usually get the mystery box items, I try to get one with sound. Now, there's a cost involved with that, so taking the gamble of doing the cheaper one and maybe getting sound, I haven't had that happen yet. So this one, what is this one? Is the Saber V3. Now, I've seen these pictured a lot, and they just look so basic. I mean, I was saying this was basic. Not a lot to this, not a lot of flair going on. It's all silver. There's nice machine lines, and they're nice. They're comfortable. And the only difference is what I call this is this baloney cut. And the pictures online don't do that justice, because in person that adds such a character. It's very, very nice. I've got no complaints about it being low key, if you will. It's nice. It's a beautiful saber. The pommel is open because this has sound to it, and this baloney cut is fantastic. I really like the way that looks. So yeah, it's wonderful. I definitely something I'm going to take a peek at in the future. This thing's got some weight to it. It is, I'm not going to say heavy, but it's heavier than this one. The length is about the same. I'm suspecting, this is just me guessing, I believe this is the same stock piece, and of course just machined differently. That's my opinion. That's what it looks like to me, because they're about the same thickness, and that thing is a thick piece of aluminum. So this got some mass to it, which is nice for moving around, because boy, it moves by itself. So what color did we get? Remember, this has got sound. It's going to be loud. Strike sound there. Got another red one. I say another red one because my last order, I got the Emperor's Hand as one of my mystery box items with sound, and that one was also red. So I'm familiar with the sounds that come with the red, and it's nice. It's great. It's a fun sound to have. So that's the Saber V3. Okay, finally, the reason for this entire order, my custom saber. So let's talk about it a little bit here. This is the Electrum Wind. Now, after I got my first order, I'm a Mace Windu fan, and I started looking for sabers that looked like Mace Windu's lightsaber, and I spotted this one on the website in a little corner popular purchase, and I was like, oh, this is just great. Now I made a custom build, so the way I configured it is the way I wanted it, and I can tell you by experience there are some things I would rethink. But it's the plastic, pardon me, these black veins here, I believe they're plastic and they're probably just glued on. They're comfortable, no issues there. The gold, obviously you can see that, it's kind of orangey, I wouldn't say copper, maybe a little brass, but it's supposed to represent gold. I got the black AV switch, non-lighted as well. Didn't really care for it to be lit up for the money that was going to be. A vented pommel for the sound, because this has got sound. The interior, the guts, the electronics, I went with the diamond, top-notch diamond. It's got some fun options I'm going to be able to play with and, you know, change things up. The emitter, I got it with the holes, vents, because one of my other freebies that I got with my first order had vertical vents in it, and I really like the way that looks. So this is really cool. I like it. Now this is kind of a grip. You probably can't see it. Helps hold on to it, and it's a little bit on the rough side. I don't think it doesn't feel like it's metal, so it feels like it's put on there somehow. And there's also one down here. It's nice. Little screw here. I think I could have put that as kind of a button screw. It's fine either way. And I had the belt clip put on as well. I went with the black, seemed to match. I don't see myself taking this apart to have this carried on my belt, but it's an option, so it's wonderful. What else is about this one? I don't think there's anything else about it. Any special order parts. Now it's got a nice girth. I like the thicker ones, and it's got some weight. I'm saying this thing's heavy, this thing's got some weight to it, which is wonderful. It's very, very nice. So, well, now this thing's loud. What color did we get? So we got purple, of course, Mace Windu, and I love purple. Notice it turns white. I believe that's what they call pulse, and I had them turn it on. And that's one of the things I'm rethinking. I don't like the white, and I think I had it pulse what they called silver, and it's just, it's I don't know what I was expecting. Grayish, I don't know, but it just turns white for so long. I'd rather leave it just purple. And the Clash is another color of purple or blue violet or something like that, so that I liked. But because it's the diamond, I can modify any of this stuff. I just got to plug it in. I've downloaded the controller to do that, brushing up on how to do that so that I can do that. I'm going to go ahead and let the noise go here and shut this off. So yeah, that's the one thing that I'm rethinking, is that I think that's called the pulse. I wouldn't do that with silver, and I don't know what color I would ever do it in. In this particular option here, I guess if it was another shade of purple, it wouldn't be so bad, but then again, just the changing glow is not really what I'm after. So that's something I can modify myself. And of course I can change the tone of the purple. So that's a wonderful thing about the electronics I got in here. I can modify everything. I've kind of played with it on the computer, haven't plugged it in or done anything. I can change through different preset options in here, and I've kind of played with that a little bit. I really don't, I'm afraid to mess it up. So I'm trying to do a little more studying. But this is fantastic. I can tell you, waiting for this for 4 weeks was challenging because I was so excited to get what I call my Mace Windu Light Saber. At Ultra Sabers, it's called the Electrum Wind. It's beautiful, wonderful. So yeah, that's what we got here. Wonderful, wonderful sabers. No complaints. Again, I've had wonderful customer service interaction with Ultra Sabers. I'm sure if I talked to them about this little nick, I guess I wouldn't expect anything out of it, but I'm sure if I brought it to their attention, they'd be appreciative at the minimum, which really, what more would I want? Nothing really. If I even told them about the dead batteries, I can't imagine what they would do, but I'm sure they wouldn't just say, hey, tough. I don't think they would do that. That's my experience, so I can't praise them enough. One of the other things I do want to express appreciation for, here we are in the midst of this contagion situation, and I haven't, like I said, I haven't purchased from any other saber companies, but I watch them and I follow them and I look at their products and so forth, just so that I'm aware of what's out there. And a lot of them are shut down, not operating. Ultra Sabers, from what I understand, is in Texas, made in USA, and they're still up and functioning. They're operating, so they're going to work and doing what they can for people, and I appreciate that. So thank you to Ultra Sabers. I don't know what else I could tell you about these. I can only encourage you to go on their website at ultrasabers.com, build yourself a saber, take a look at them. Look at the videos, play them all, even if they don't pertain to something you're interested in. You might learn something from them. You can build one, see what it's going to cost you, back it up, build it more than once in different ways, different configurations to, you know, check the cost differences for yourself. And keep in mind, look at the deal of the days, look at the promotions going on, because, you know, if you're going to spend, and I'm just throwing a number out here, if you're going to spend $400 on a lightsaber, do look at their special offers and the promotions, because on that alone you could end up with another free saber or some free plug. I forget what they call the plugs. It's an emitter plug, something like that. You know, you could end up with a few extra items. They might offer 10% on all your sabers, 10% off of a particular sound chip. You know, so you might be able to get some promotions in there that'll, you know, make it more cost effective, number one. Number two, you might actually get two for the price of one. So if you, like I'm trying to mention, if you spend $400, I don't know if this is $400, but if you spent $400 on this saber and then you got a free saber, well, now they both just cost $200. So it's a little better. You know, I can tell you the mystery box guaranteed with sound is $200, and if you add the blade like I do, the ultra heavy duty, it's another $10. So it's $210. Well, if I do that and then do some other free one or another mystery box without sound, that I get a free saber. I just bought 3 of them, just over $100 a piece. So there's ways to make it more cost effective. Just have to be aware. And I've said it before, if you want something specific, a lightsaber like this with a purple blade, you need to order that, because you don't know what you're going to get in the mystery box. And I've read a few complaints about stuff like that. It's a mystery box. There's no guarantees for it. They even put that there. Even if you got the $70 one, you could get one with sound, with a diamond control. You could get an immaculate lightsaber. It's just a pick of the draw there, but you can't expect that. So if you want something specific and you really don't want a white blade, then don't go for something that they're going to pick out for you, because you could get something you really might not want. And again, I'm not complaining. It is what it is. Maybe you just want a hilt to display on your entertainment center, because you are a fan of Star Wars, but you don't want a big mural or a wall full of Star Wars stuff. You can get away with a very inexpensive lightsaber. If it doesn't matter to you that it makes noise or even lights up or even has a blade on it, you could get an empty hilt. And I think the cheapest one that I noticed was like $50, maybe 70. I really don't know the prices that well, but it would, I mean, it's going to be basic. If this was sitting on your shelf, I've mentioned this before, some people might say, what's with the silver pipe on your shelf, you know? I would know what it is, you'll know, some people might know. So being that basic, maybe you'll do a little artwork yourself to it, put a leather wrap on it, make it look like something. It's really something you can do with the start of something. And then later on, you can get the parts and put the electronics in yourself, you know? Maybe with the blade on there, obviously it would look a little bit more like a lightsaber. Hey, great, cool. You can get away with something very, very inexpensive that way, just for decoration, and still in itself be combat ready per se. But again, this is even basic without the blade on there. It doesn't look like a whole lot, but a pipe. So some of them aren't that obvious. This might be just because of the baloney cut without a blade on there, but it is, to me, rather plain. Maybe a leather wrap around there. It's a hilt, and people might know what it is. It's almost Skywalker type, but not quite, you know. But then if you get elaborate, of course, you're going to spend some money. And this empty, I want to say is like $100 or 180. I really don't know. You'd have to double check. I'm really just guessing, but the possibilities are there. Again, go to ultrasabers.com, check out what they have, look at it, spend some time on there, and you'll get some ideas. Really, you will. Let me tell you, if you know of a Star Wars fan, this is probably one of the best gifts you could come up with. Surprise them like you cannot believe by buying them a lightsaber. You can custom order one, like I did. Maybe they're a big fan of Darth Vader, so you get one with red. You know, they even have ones that look like the Kylo Ren model. You know, so the possibilities really are there. If you do cosplay or costume stuff, these things look great. They definitely pass for a lightsaber, so something to consider there. My other ones, I can tell you, have rechargeable batteries in them, and I believe this has rechargeable batteries. The sound ones, I think they both have rechargeable batteries. I'm not really sure. And they're a special kind of rechargeable battery. And this one came with a charger. My custom order did. And it's a basic charger, nothing fancy. But I bought a different one, a lot fancier, with a monitor on there from Amazon. Roughly about the same price. Not trying to take business away from Ultra Sabers here, but that was because I didn't know when this was going to show up, so I could just use this one. And it's fantastic. I charged them up, put it back in there. The thing was brighter than when I got it, so obviously when I got it, the batteries weren't fully charged. But it's fascinating, and it doesn't take all that long. So, you know, you can even get stuff like this, extra batteries that are recommended for the lightsabers. So it's ultrasabers.com has got a lot of great stuff. You might even get into changing your stuff up on your own. I don't know if I'm going to go ahead and get new electronics, change the light color in here. If I start diving into stuff like that, all of a sudden I need to become an expert in how to do it. And before you know it, I'll have a lathe in my garage to make them, and I don't want to do all that. I go overboard with stuff, so I'll probably just leave it alone, because maybe a family member likes it and they like that one, so they'll want it, and I'll give it to them as a gift or something. So the possibilities are all there, and I'm just trying to give you options and choices to look at. So yeah, I'm like I mentioned, I'm already looking into doing another custom order. Of course, with the situation in the world right now, I kind of weighing my options and decisions on what I should or shouldn't do. Also, they have a great promotion going on right now that I want to take advantage of. There's a drawing going on for, I think it's the spring drawing. So if you spend a certain amount of money, you get an entry into a drawing, and you can get a free saber there as well. There's obviously no guarantee for that. They're giving away like 85 of them. So I think if I custom ordered one, I could end up getting a blade plug. That's what they're called, by the way. A t-shirt, an entry into the drawing, all for one saber. And I have you get some points by being there, so then you get some discounts. I think they got 10% off going on top of all that. I mean, I'm justifying it to myself right now to spend more money, and you know, it's all possible. I'm trying to keep the light out of my face here, so I'm leaning forward. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and turn all these on. I'm going to pause for a second, shut the curtain. I doubt it's going to do any good. It's pretty bright out right now. I'm just trying to let you see them all lit up at once here. So in 1 second, I'll be right back. Really didn't change anything. I got the sun on my face here though, so that's great. Hey, I love the sun. So here we go. We'll start in order again with the Free Initiate, the Free Initiate V4. Then the free grab bag, the Dominix LE V3. And I didn't mention that. These are just what they call guarded switches. This is a pretty standard one. AV switch. Up third, that's where the noise starts. This is the mystery box guaranteed with sound that I purchased. It is the standard issue Battle Saber V3. That is the complete name. Lastly, my custom build, which is the Electrum Wind in a purple blade. with the diamond controller electronics. That's them all lit up. Before I let you go here, you notice I whacked them a little bit to try to give you the clash sound. I've noticed something with my other Saber order. The more you start combating with them and knocking them around, the more sensitive they get to simple bumps. So there's nothing wrong with it. It just needs to get loosened up. I'm going to call that loosening it up. So stay tuned after this, because you're going to see my Saber talent show techniques. And trust me, if you look at my other video, you can tell I've practiced. I think I've gotten a little bit better, and it's exciting to do that. Hey, well, you're sitting at home right now. It's good, actually pretty good exercise. You can work up quite a sweat just playing around with these things. But I do encourage you to use caution, because you're going to damage stuff in the house if you hit things with this. You will dent the walls, you will flatten the corners on some walls, you will break a TV, break a window. So be cautious. Take popcorn off the ceiling. Just use caution. Make sure you got space. But they are fun to play with. I've dropped them and they're fine. So they can take some striking. I appreciate your time. Thank you for listening. Visit ultrasabers.com. Join saberforum.com. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.